met by the impetuosity of blood and soil in the house of Drecc, a sinister tale by Draco Noktul. We can interpret the flag of the real cover as the Dreccian call from the darkness of our heritage. By the tools of our heredity and the universality of our spiritual connection, it takes the primal nobility to center a creative work starting its social mission in the organization of like-minded people by the kindred honor code. It centers on a sort of creativity in presencing towards a new age, represented by the Moon to Mercury and Moon to Mars sigils that the book ends with. The ascendant signs of the struggle of the Noctulian in the reflective and the implied empathy embodies the Alastras are Moon to Earth in us, and we meet what might be meant by saying that the book-sized version of the Dreccian way was by a name that means the deserted. I personally use a picture that has qualities of twilight, when the fire beings naturally come out significantly, but the sun is low in the dimming sky, which is also one of the 3 times when some demons of them are particularly obstinate in calling towards their worship. There is a process for us to go through, and it is to leave what we really are unobstructed. The wise example of others indicates how we can live outside the status quo. Keith and kindred can settle things internally without the lack of respect that is inherent in involving outsiders. That unity is used to accomplish more in the inevitable conflict with others. Any external cost is towards success, and what we tell ourselves about those not with us is for ourselves. The harsh events and the results are directed in the most firm striving upon our own terms. The way to establishing oneself in one's own world was not safe, but we arrive in the presence of the Agatha Daimon, beyond the tutelary, as our Daimon. We leave behind our personal legacy. We've broken free from experimental psychology. We are not shamed of our heredity. Regardless of nationality, it is for each to invert their star towards personal superiority. Gothic and horror fiction has driven this use of philosophy. From Mercury to Venus is the chariot of backwards ascendancy through the 7 gates of dispersion, whereas others would be immersed in a nostalgia that is empty. On we go into what the mundanes will call insanity. From dawn, we grasp the outer trappings of authority. The elite-built tunnels are nothing to what we open with our homemade tools and fiery crystals. Akamena, evil mind. Indar, Naon Ha'ithya, Sa'urva, Ha'urve, destruction, Za'ure, blessing, and Asham have taught the evil magic they are upon. Our space is small, but we go beyond our conceptions of space and mass. When Moon to Mercury and Moon to Venus combine the infernal and charnel references, impacting our bodies. So hum akal angra ma in e u the davanum davo as a spiritual plan beyond elite built tunnels. Gnog Manog, staking body, is agent of counter creation, comes to complete a more primal version of the Abramelin ritual. Lucifer, Leviathan, Satan, and Belial, formed by heat and cold. Astaroth, Magot, and Kor. Asmodi, Belzebud, Orions, Paimon, Ariton, and Amaimon are replete with more than we've been told. Unto the solar sight, the chosen and initiative have sold. Joyat terupam kalyanatam tat pasyam yo aksav asau purusha sohamasme. Continually training our deliberate action will leave us surrounded and grasped causally. There is a secret in experience. The dark side of matter will produce a beastly consciousness. This invocation envelops us. From the beginning, there are side effects. Continual work brings the inside outside. Depopulationist agendas don't mean we have to take their sides. The causal order will use the remains and its relics in a secret sideshow. Noctulius, Nithra, Shugara, Satanas, Aasath, Azanagan, Nakala, Ga Wath Benan Ath, Lidagan, Abatu, Karusamsu, Nemaku, Maktoron, Velpecula, Kathana, Atazath, Vindex, Dapkina, Sauraktanas, Naas, Alastoros, and the rest of the Dark Kingdom competes with the spheres of Aulam Yetzirah. We will stand apart, and the divisions will naturally occur in those separated from the secular and sacred pool of the conservatives. We connect to the tradition of the 33 daughters of Diocletian, led by their eldest, Albine. We hail the Akbar as we settle our disputes internally. By competition, we shape-shift through political and religious orders. We will certainly go forward together after it is over. We evoke ourselves as we invoke the names that set us apart from the outsiders. The Lord of the Gap leads what they discover. The enemy counteracts, and the black foe of the world continues his work as the inimitable symphony's disruptor. Uplift. Our might upon the same structure. We go wild in the terms of this order. Then we decide what to do with what we gather. The fire beings come out in the twilight upon the satanic funeral. The worldly perception ends and the eyes are shut by the gaping spiritual figure. Like 9 knots of blood, he encloses the preferred tool in the grasp of the taker. The worldly vessels have served their purpose as initiators. Upon worthlessness, we celebrate the attachment to its oppressor. Over soul's destiny, here lays a military ruler. The memory, legacy, and energy lingers. Upon our dreams and vision be their honor. Those who regard them in their cosmic consciousness touch the neural lobe's user. Libations join the fire, and the congregants become howlers for Baphomet and her 9 dark daughters. Revenge will be had when it is due upon the subhuman sociopath. Narasimha, established between the terms in the 4th age. Earth to moon and moon to Saturn is traversed by the chance in the hands-on carnage. Be a fox or a wolf. It is not senseless like people think of the spiritual force of this age of horror. When we are spent in the effort, we are met by the suprapersonal when the removers lift off. What holds back the beings from the darkness of the stars? And the sections of the book that I comment on with the rituals: ritual execution, dance of death, darkly dreaming is the part that is revenge will be had. That starts that. And eulogy, the fire beings come out. And under siege, we evoke ourselves. And brawling brothers, there is a secret in experience. The Drecc wizard, from dawn we grasp, and purgatorial purging, we leave behind our personal legacy. So those 6 sections are thought of like rituals. And there's a process for us to go through until the end of that part is the less artistic, more philosophic way of responding to this. And then the we can interpret section looks at it in terms of art and tries to think of it in terms of art. I mean, the ritual expression is more of an art than whatever, but so we have repeated works about, you know, the aftermath of what's going to come from World War III as stories with the order of 9 angles and related groups sort of thing. And your own interpretations are going to be your own interpretations, but this is, you know, my use of the thing. Now, in purple, this is sigil Shugara Noctulius. In red, the Dreccan moons, Baphomet is the other symbol.